In the barren expanse of the Jalarian wastes, the planet Nicaea was as inhospitable as any in the far reaches of the Andromeda galaxy. The relentless sun scorched the cracked surface, and fierce winds scattered the fine silvery dust into the air, painting the horizon in a perpetual haze. It was here, among the towering rock formations and deep ravines, that she found herself. Elara, an alien girl with skin that shimmered like the stars from which she had fallen. Elara was of the Lari, a race known across the galaxy for their profound empathy and telepathic abilities, now dwindling to the brink of extinction. Her ship, a small reconnaissance craft, had crash-landed on Nicaea following a catastrophic engine failure. Wounded and isolated, she had sent out distress signals across all known frequencies, hoping her people would come. But none answered. The Lari, scattered by cosmic winds of war and strife, could no longer reach one of their own. Days turned into weeks as Elara struggled to adapt to her harsh surroundings. Her slender body was not made for the rugged terrain of Nicaea. Her translucent wings, once capable of capturing the solar winds between stars, lay limp and useless, damaged during the crash. With each passing day, her hope of rescue dimmed like the light of a dying star. Then, they arrived. Humans. The Terrans, as they were formerly known, had a reputation that stretched wide across space lanes, often wrapped in tales of their carnivorous habits and their ruthless expansion into the cosmos. To the galaxy at large, humans were viewed with a mix of fear and fascination. Their arrival on Nicaea was no accident. They were scavengers, explorers, and sometimes saviors. A group of these humans, clad in rugged suits designed to withstand the environmental extremities, found Elara beside her wrecked craft. She had heard stories of the Terrans' carnivorous practices, how they consumed life with both a primal appetite and a strange sense of ceremony. Frightened, yet too weak to flee, she braced herself for the worst. The leader of the group, Captain Jonas Harrow, was the first to approach. His face, rough and lined with years of cosmic radiation, softened as he knelt beside her. "Hey there, little star," he murmured, his voice surprisingly gentle. "We're not going to hurt you. We're here to help." Elara, bewildered but instinctively understanding his intentions through her fading telepathic senses, felt a flicker of hope. These humans with their strange and fearsome reputation were not here to harm her, but to offer aid. Captain Harrow signaled to his crew, and they carefully lifted Elara onto a makeshift stretcher. As they transported her back to their ship, a robust cruiser named the Indomitable, she looked back at the ruins of her own vessel. It was a pitiful heap of metal and memories, now just another relic on the merciless surface of Nicaea. Aboard the Indomitable, Elara was introduced to the ship's medic, Dr. Lena Kovic. The doctor was a young woman with sharp eyes and a kind smile, her hair pulled back in a tight bun that spoke of practicality. She tended to Elara's injuries with expertise, applying salves that cooled and healed, wrapping her delicate limbs in bandages infused with healing agents. "You're safe here," Lena assured her as she worked. "The captain has declared that we'll aid in your recovery and help search for any of your people who might be out there." Grateful tears welled up in Elara's eyes. Not only had these humans saved her from certain death, but they were also willing to help her find her scattered kin. Perhaps, she thought, not all stories were true, and perhaps, in the vast and varied tapestry of the cosmos, beings could still surprise each other. As Elara rested and recovered, she learned more about the humans and their diverse cultures. They were not the... Aboard the Indomitable, Elara's world transformed daily. The ship, a sprawling maze of corridors and chambers, was abuzz with activity. Humans, belonging to various ethnicities of Earth, worked in harmony, a ballet of mechanical and digital prowess that kept the cruiser not only operational, but thriving in the void. As Elara adapted to her new environment, she spent time in the observation deck, watching the cosmos unfold through the vast panes of reinforced glass. There, she often joined by Captain Harrow, who seemed to take a paternal interest in her well-being. Space can either break you or forge you anew, depending on how you let it mold you. Harrow said during one of their shared silences, his gaze fixed on the swirl of a distant nebula. Ilara, her senses attuning to the rhythm of human speech and emotion, nodded. She had begun to learn their language, the sounds initially harsh and clipped to her ears, now forming meaningful patterns. One evening, as the Indomitable skirted the edges of a gravity well, alarms blared throughout the ship. The crew rushed to their stations, their movements precise and swift. Ilara, driven by a mix of curiosity and concern, followed Captain Harrow to the bridge. On the main view screen, a ship unlike any she had seen loomed ahead. It was sleek and predatory, its hull marked with the emblems of the Zeltrax mercenaries, a notorious band known for their ruthless pirating across the sectors. "We've got company," Harrow muttered, his voice taut with tension. "Zeltrax. They don't engage without reason. Stay behind me, Ilara." The mercenaries hailed the Indomitable, their leader, a massive figure swathed in cybernetic enhancements, appearing on the screen. "Surrender the Lari, and we might let you scavenge another day, Terrans." Ilara's heart sank. She realized that her presence might bring danger to her saviors. Stepping forward, her voice steady despite the fear, she addressed the screen. "I am here. Why do you seek me?" The mercenary leader's metallic laugh echoed through the bridge. "The Lari are rare. Rare things fetch high prices. Simple commerce, creature." Harrow glanced at Ilara, his decision clear. "We're not selling anyone today, Zeltrax. Prepare to engage." The battle was swift and fierce. The Indomitable's cannons roared as they exchanged fire with the mercenary ship. Ilara could feel the ship shudder under the impact of the energy blasts, the air crackling with electricity. Despite the chaos, the humans' fighting spirit never wavered, their faces set with determination and a fierce protectiveness. In the midst of the firefight, Ilara, using her diminished but still potent telepathic abilities, sensed a disruption in the enemy ship's navigation systems. Focusing her mind, she whispered across the void, her voice a gentle but insistent throb in the fabric of space. The Zeltrax ship faltered, its trajectory skewed as its systems briefly scrambled. Seizing the opportunity, Harrow commanded, "Full barrage now!" Moments later, the mercenary ship, unable to maintain its defenses, retreated into the safety of hyperspace, leaving behind only the debris of battle and a lingering threat. As the crew celebrated their narrow victory, Ilara felt a mix of relief and sorrow. The reality of her existence, as a being hunted for her rarity, had brought danger to these brave humans. Yet in their eyes, she saw no regret, only the quiet resolve of those accustomed to the perils of space. In the aftermath, as repairs were made and the Indomitable resumed its course, Ilara knew that her bond with these humans had deepened. They had risked everything not for profit or gain, but for her, a stranger among them. In their courage, she found a glimmer. Ilara's integration into the crew of the Indomitable grew as days turned into weeks. Her unique abilities, though diminished, proved invaluable, offering insights and subtle manipulations of energy that enhanced the ship's capabilities. Captain Harrow, recognizing her potential, began to involve her in strategic meetings, her presence no longer just as a guest, but as a part of the crew. One morning, Dr. Lena Kovic approached Ilara with a proposition that piqued her curiosity. "We've been analyzing the data from your ship's wreckage," Lena explained, her eyes flickering with the thrill of discovery. "There's something there, possibly a clue to the location of a Lari enclave." Ilara, her heart quickening with hope, listened intently as Lena unfolded the plans. "We need to go to the Keltar system. It's not far, but it's cloaked in a type of nebula we haven't navigated before. The electromagnetic distortions could hide planets, maybe even your people." The decision to venture into the nebula was not taken lightly. The Keltar system was notorious for its unstable star and the thick nebula that surrounded it, making navigation perilous. However, the potential of finding other Lari compelled them to take the risk. As the Indomitable entered the nebula, the space around them swirled with colors and energy flows that distorted sensors and played havoc with the ship's navigation systems. Ilara stood beside Captain Harrow on the bridge, her senses extended, feeling the cosmic winds as they passed through them. "Can you guide us?" Harrow asked, his voice steady despite the uncertainty. Elara closed her eyes, reaching out with her mind. The nebula responded, not with words but with impressions, a map drawn in emotions and echoes of stellar winds. Guided by her directions, the Indomitable maneuvered through the nebula with surprising grace. Suddenly a shadow loomed large on their sensors, a hidden planet, veiled by the nebula's thick curtains. The crew cheered, but Elara felt a pang of apprehension. Her people were known for their secrecy, their enclaves well protected against intruders. As they approached the planet, a transmission broke through the static. "Unidentified vessel, you enter Lari space. State your intentions." Elara responded, her voice mingling with the static of the transmission. "I am Elara of the Lari, seeking refuge and reunion with my kind." There was a pause, the silence stretching long enough to feel like an omen. Finally, the voice returned, softer. "Elara, daughter of the stars, you are welcomed home." The Indomitable was granted permission to enter the planet's orbit. The planet itself was a jewel of greens and blues, clouds swirling in artistic whirls, a stark contrast to the barren wastes of Nicaea where they had found Elara. As they prepared to descend, Elara faced the humans who had become her family. The thought of leaving them twisted her heart, but she knew she needed to reconnect with her roots to perhaps bring her two worlds together. The landing was smooth, the Lari enclave emerging as a city of light and harmony, structures blending seamlessly with the natural beauty of the planet. Elara stepped out, her wings, though still frail, catching the light of her homeworld's sun. A group of Lari approached. As the days unfolded on the Lari planet, the human crew of the Indomitable engaged with their alien hosts in unprecedented cultural and technological exchanges. The Lari, with their deep-rooted connection to the cosmos, shared their knowledge of stellar navigation and energy manipulation, techniques that promised to revolutionize human space travel. Meanwhile, Elara became the bridge between her people and the humans. Her unique experience and dual affinity provided insights into both worlds, facilitating a deeper understanding and respect on both sides. Captain Harrow often joined her in these exchanges, his curiosity about Lari culture as keen as his tactical acumen in navigating the political landscape of the galaxy. In one of the gatherings, an assembly beneath the luminescent canopies that sprawled through the Lari capital, Dr. Lena Kovic presented a joint project that had been in development since their arrival. "We've been working on integrating Lari energy techniques with Terran technology," she announced, showcasing a prototype device that could harness the ambient cosmic energy for medical applications. "This device could potentially heal injuries that were once thought irreversible." The Lari elders, their expressions serene yet visibly impressed, nodded in approval. One elder, whose eyes shimmered with the light of nebulae, spoke. "This collaboration could be the dawn of a new era, where the wounds of the galaxy are healed by the children of the stars." As the project moved forward, tensions from outside began to surface. The galaxy was not devoid of conflict, and the news of a burgeoning alliance between humans and Lari spread quickly. Soon, emissaries from various factions across the galaxy arrived, each seeking to understand the implications of this new power block. Amidst these diplomatic maneuvers, Elara and Captain Harrow encountered a spy from the rival Morathian Confederacy, caught while attempting to infiltrate the Indomitable. Under interrogation, the spy revealed a plot to destabilize the emerging alliance, fearing it would shift the balance of power in the region. With this knowledge, Captain Harrow took preemptive measures, dispatching scout ships to monitor Morathian movements while enhancing the defenses of the Lari planet. Elara, sensing the growing threats, proposed a summit, inviting leaders from neighboring systems to witness firsthand the benefits of the human-Lari cooperation. The summit was set on the orbital platforms that circled the planet, a place where the vastness of space could be seen and felt by all attendees. Elara opened the summit with a speech that resonated across the communication channels of the attending delegations. "We stand here not as separate races, but as denizens of the cosmos, whose survival depends not on conquest, but on cooperation. Let us look beyond our differences and see the potential of what we can achieve together." she urged, her voice echoing in the chamber. As the summit proceeded, demonstrations of Lari human technologies and shared cultural programs impressed many, swaying skeptics and drawing curiosity from even the most reserved delegations. The Morathian delegates, initially aloof, found themselves engaged in discussions over shared security concerns and the potential for economic partnerships. The culmination of the summit came when a rogue comet, previously undetected, threatened the summit venue. Using the combined Lari and human technology, the delegates worked together to divert the comet's path, saving the station and illustrating the practical benefits of their newfound alliance. This act of collective salvation solidified the summit's success, leading to agreements of mutual defense and scientific exchange among the participating systems. As the aftermath of the summit sent ripples through the known sectors. News of the successful diversion of the rogue comet and the collaboration between humans and Lari became a beacon for other civilizations on the fringe of the galaxy, those seeking similar alliances against common threats. The Indomitable resumed its journey, now not merely as an explorer or a warship, but as a herald of a new era of interstellar cooperation. Captain Harrow, determined to solidify the foundations laid by the summit, charted a course towards the Targon cluster, a region known for its volatile politics and rich resources. The cluster's systems, long embroiled in territorial disputes, could greatly benefit from the stability such an alliance promised. Ilara, more confident in her role as an ambassador, worked closely with the ship's diplomatic corps. Together, they prepared detailed presentations of the technologies and peacekeeping strategies developed with the Lari. However, as they neared the Targon cluster, a distress signal redirected their mission. The signal originated from a mining colony on Targon 4, under attack by pirates taking advantage of the regional chaos. The Indomitable responded with swift precision, its crew ready to deploy both their diplomatic acumen and military might. As the ship entered orbit, pirate vessels scattered from their raiding positions, not expecting a ship of the Indomitable's caliber. Captain Harrow deployed a series of drones, not to attack, but to secure the area, broadcasting a simple message. "Cease your hostilities, and let's talk." The pirates, cornered and outmatched, agreed to parley. They were a ragtag group, their lives shaped by the harsh realities of fringe space. Their leader, a rugged old spacer named Karn, met with Harrow and Ilara in the neutral ground of the colony's central hall. Karn was gruff, his face a map of scars from a lifetime of skirmishes, but his eyes held a cautious respect. "You could have blown us to the stars, yet you talk of peace," he rasped, eyeing Ilara warily. Ilara stepped forward, her voice calm and clear. "Violence breeds only ruin. We offer a path to stability, one where your skills could be put to better use defending these colonies rather than attacking them." The negotiations stretched into hours, with Captain Harrow offering terms of amnesty and employment in exchange for the pirates' agreement to cease their raids and assist in colony defenses. Karn, seeing a chance for a life beyond piracy, agreed, his decision earning cautious applause from his crew. With the pirate threat neutralized, the Indomitable's crew focused on repairing the damage to Targon 4. The colony, grateful for the intervention, became a vocal supporter of the human Lari alliance, their testimonial spreading through the cluster like wildfire. As other systems observed the benefits reaped by Targon 4, delegations began reaching out, eager to discuss potential alliances. Ilara and the diplomatic team found themselves navigating a complex web of negotiations, each system with its own demands and offers. During a quiet moment, Ilara visited the colony's edge, where the rugged landscape met the dark skies. She reflected on the changes she had witnessed, from being a lone survivor feared by others to becoming a catalyst for unity in the galaxy. Her contemplation was interrupted by a call from Captain Harrow. "Ilara, we've received a communication from the Lari Council. It seems your efforts here have inspired them." The Indomitable set a course for the Lari homeworld, now the focal point for the nascent coalition of planets. The ship's halls buzzed with excitement and anticipation, as humans and Lari alike prepared for the historic summit that could reshape the galaxy's political landscape. The culmination of their efforts was near, and with it, the chance to forge a new era of peace and cooperation. As the planet of Lari loomed into view, its cities glistening under the soft glow of its twin suns, the crew of the Indomitable gathered on the observation deck. Alara stood beside Captain Harrow, her expression a mixture of pride and resolve. "This is it," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "Everything we've worked for, everything we've dreamed of, it's time." The summit was set in a vast amphitheater built into the heart of the Lari capital, surrounded by bioluminescent flora that bathed the space in a gentle, calming light. Leaders from dozens of systems ranging from the industrialized worlds of the Terran Federation to the serene, almost ethereal civilizations of the Lari gathered in anticipation. The atmosphere was electric, a blend of hope and cautious optimism. Captain Harrow took the stage first, his presence commanding yet welcoming. "Ladies and gentlemen, beings of all stars, welcome. Today we stand on the brink of a new era, an era where our differences are not barriers but bridges, where our strengths are not in isolation but in unity. Together, we will face the challenges of this vast galaxy, not as separate entities, but as a collective force for peace, innovation, and prosperity." The assembly broke into applause, the sound resonating through the amphitheater. Alara, standing beside Harrow, felt a surge of emotion. The gravity of the moment, the culmination of her journey from a stranded alien to a pivotal figure in galactic diplomacy, was overwhelming. She took the microphone, her voice steady and clear. "Each of us comes from different worlds, with different histories and dreams. Yet here today, we find a common purpose. The Lari and humans, together with all who have joined us, will forge alliances that defy the shadows of the past. We will build a network of peace, a shield against the darkness that once threatened us all." As the summit progressed, various leaders presented their visions and proposals. The Valorian Alliance proposed a joint research initiative on sustainable energy, harnessing the unique technologies of both the Lari and human scientists. The Malthorian Union, once a fierce adversary, offered their advanced cybernetic technology to aid in developing new medical treatments for the galaxy's sick and wounded. Even the Morathian Confederacy, now reformed and eager to shed their past, pledged to support the Coalition's defense initiatives. The highlight of the summit was a groundbreaking agreement signed by all present, a treaty that established the Galactic Coalition for Peace and Prosperity. The treaty outlined shared scientific research, mutual defense pacts, and economic collaborations, ensuring that the resources and knowledge of all signatories would be pooled for the greater good. As the ceremony concluded, a powerful holographic projection lit up the sky above the amphitheater, displaying the emblem of the newly formed coalition, a starburst of intertwining colors representing unity and diversity. The audience watched in awe, the symbol etched into the fabric of their future. In the midst of the celebrations, Alara found herself surrounded by old friends and new allies. Dr. Lena Kovic, her eyes sparkling with pride, clapped her on the shoulder. "We did it, Alara. We really did it." "Yes, we did," Alara replied, her voice filled with emotion. "But this is just the beginning. There's so much more to do, so many worlds to heal, so many bridges to build." Captain Harrow joined them, his gaze fixed on the horizon. "We've changed the galaxy today, but our work is far from over. Let's make sure that this alliance not only survives but thrives. Together, we'll explore the unknown, protect the weak, and seek out the stars that call to us." As the night deepened, the amphitheater glowed with the lights of celebration and hope. The Indomitable crew, now part of a greater tapestry, stood side by side in the quiet moments that followed. As the echoes of laughter and music faded into the serene night, Alara looked up at the sky. The stars shimmered with a promise of new beginnings, each one a beacon for the dreams and aspirations of all who dared to reach beyond the horizon. And with her friends, her allies, and her new family by her side, she knew that together, they would navigate the vast expanse of the universe, forever bound by the light of their shared hope.